Jai Hind one and all. Welcome to this next video which is related about group 16 elements. So let us start with group 16 element which is commonly known as oxygen family. There are 6 elements particularly in this group which are oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium and recently discovered livermorium. Out of these elements, livermorium is highly radioactive and is very unstable because of its radioactivity, and it has a short half-life period. That's why we don't know much about this element. Polonium is also radioactive with the half-life period of 13.8 days. The family is also known as chalcogens. This family is also known as chalcogens, which is because the meaning of chalcogens is ore forming, and since most of the elements form oxide ores or sulfide ores, hence this particular family is also known as chalcogens. Oxygen and sulfur of this family are typical nonmetals. Selenium and tellurium are metalloids, while polonium is the most metallic element of this group. If we say about the occurrence, that how these elements occur, oxygen occur in atmosphere to the extent of 21% by volume and 23% by mass, and we know that oxygen is one of the most essential element for respiration as well as in combustion, and it is balanced by photosynthesis as well. Sulfur is the 16th most abundant element in the earth crust, and it constitutes about 0.04% by mass in earth crust. It occurs both in free state as well as combined state. In free state, it occurs mostly in volcanic regions. Sulfur is a very prominent element when any volcanic eruption occurs. So in the volcanic regions like in Sicily, Iceland, Japan and Mexico, free sulfur is found. Sulfur also occurs in abundance in many different combined forms, like in the form of sulfide ores, zinc blende, ZnS, galena, PbS, sulfate ores like gypsum, barytes, Epsom salts. H2S and SO2 are present generally in volcanic gases, in sewage gases, and many organic compounds in plants and animals also contain organic sulfur, like onion, garlic, mustard. They have sulfur combined with some organic compound. So these are the different occurrences of sulfur. Further, selenium occurs in traces in many sulfide ores such as in beryllinite, timonite, silonite and zorgonite. Tellurium is also found associated with gold, silver and bismuth. Tellurium is an element which is found with combination of other elements like in bismuth glands, tellurite, sylvanite. These are some specific formulas and ores of selenium and tellurium. Polonium is a rare element in the earth crust, and it occurs as a decay product. Means since polonium is radioactive, it does a continuous decay occurs, like alpha, beta and gamma rays emit from polonium, and it occurs in the decay product of thorium and uranium minerals. So these are the occurrence of group 16 elements. If we talk about the electronic configuration, the outermost electronic configuration is Ns2Np4. Like in oxygen it is 2s2 2p4. In case of sulfur it is 3s2 3p4. This is the valence shell, and the valence shell electronic configuration is Ns2Np4 in case of group 16 elements. Selenium has 4s2 4p4, tellurium has 5s2 5p4, and polonium has 6s2 6p4, while livermorium has 7s2 7p4. All these above elements have 6 electrons in their outermost shell, and since they are in group 16, it is very much obvious that they have 6 electrons in their outermost shell. Now if we talk about the atomic and ionic radii, the trend is very normal according to the trends of the periodic table itself. Like as we move from top to bottom, the size of the element increases. In case of top to bottom, the size of the element increases. If we compare it with the size of group 15 elements, the group 15 elements have larger size with respect to group 16. It means that the size of group 16 elements are smaller than that of group 15 because of the increase in effective nuclear charge. And as we move from top to bottom in group 16 elements, the size will increase. Like I have given here you the data of atomic radii as well as ionic radii. Ionization enthalpy. If we see the trend in ionization enthalpy, the usual trend is as we move in the periodic table from left to right, the ionization enthalpy should increase. But here reverse is seen in case of group 15 and 16. Group 15 has higher ionization enthalpy with respect to group 16 because of the stable configuration, stable half-filled configuration of group 15 elements. Like if we compare the electronic configuration of nitrogen and oxygen, it is 1s2 2s2 2p3, like 2px1 2py1 and 2pz1. And in case of oxygen, it is 1s2 2s2 2px2 2py1 and 2pz1. So it is less symmetrical and it is more symmetrical. Hence we can see the data of ionization enthalpy. Oxygen has 1314 kilojoule per mole, while nitrogen has 1402 kilojoule per mole. So due to stable electronic configuration, the ionization enthalpy of nitrogen is higher with respect to oxygen. The same is the case with sulfur and phosphorus. Yeah, as we move from top to bottom, the ionization enthalpy decreases due to increase in size. If we talk about electronegativity, the oxygen is the most electronegative element of this group. In fact, it is the second most electronegative element in the periodic table just after fluorine, and electronegativity decreases from top to bottom. As we move down the group in the periodic table, the electronegativity decreases. Now electron gain enthalpy. The element of the group 16 have high electron affinity values which decreases from sulfur to polonium. However, oxygen has lower electron gain enthalpy than sulfur. This point is very important, children. Please remember it. We have learnt it in class 11th as well. The electron gain enthalpy of oxygen is less negative with respect to sulfur. The electron gain enthalpy of oxygen is less negative with respect to sulfur. We can see the data of electron gain enthalpy. The value of electron gain enthalpy for oxygen is minus 141.4, while that of sulfur is only minus 200. So the sulfur has more negative value of electron gain enthalpy with respect to oxygen. The reason is there is strong inter-electronic repulsion in oxygen due to its smaller size, and hence the incoming electron is not accepted. वो इतनी आराम से नहीं आ पाता है ऑक्सीजन में, क्योंकि ऑक्सीजन की साइज काफ़ी छोटी है और इनकमिंग इलेक्ट्रॉन को ऑक्सीजन में प्रेजेंट इलेक्ट्रॉन से काफ़ी रिपल्शन फेस करना पड़ता है, और उस रिपल्शन को दूर करने के लिए ऑक्सीजन हैज़ टू यूज सम एनर्जी, एंड दैट्स व्हाई द वैल्यू बिकम्स लेस नेगेटिव. ओके, now let us move to some physical properties of group 15 elements. If we talk about the metallic and non-metallic character, it goes according to the trend of the periodic table, because as we know, the metallic character always increases down the group, and so with group 16 elements also. If we move from top to bottom in group 16 element, the ionization enthalpy decreases, and hence the metallic character, that is the tendency to lose electron, increases, and that's why oxygen is most non-metallic and polonium is the most metallic element in this group. The melting point and boiling point again depends upon the van der Waals forces. Larger the size, larger the mass, more is the van der Waals forces. Children, please remember it very carefully, because we will keep this point in other groups as well. Melting point and boiling point is always dependent for elements on van der Waals forces, and van der Waals forces increases with increase in atomic mass. So as we move from top to bottom in the group, what will happen? The size of atom increases. The size of atom increases means the mass of atom also increases. If the mass of atom increases, the van der Waals force will increase, and this will increase the boiling point as well as the melting point. The physical existence in elemental state. Again, in this particular part, the oxygen shows its anomalous behavior. Oxygen is the only element in this group which exists as diatomic gases, while the other elements like sulfur, selenium, tellurium, etc., they occur as octaatomic solids. Octaatomic solid means they are having 8 atoms in their molecules. So these elements exist as octaatomic solid. So what is the reason? The reason is the small size and high electronegativity of oxygen. Due to the small size and high electronegativity of oxygen, oxygen forms p-pi double bond, and it exists as O double bond O molecule. So when oxygen exists in form of O double bond O, the intermolecular force of attraction between these O2 molecules is the weak van der Waals forces, and due to the presence of very weak van der Waals forces, the normal collision occurs and the molecule can easily break, and they exist as diatomic gases in the room temperature. On the other hand, rest of the element, due to their larger size, do not able to form this p-pi multiple bond. They are unable to form double bonds. In fact, they prefer to stay in single bonds. Like sulfur, selenium, tellurium, they all form SS, Se single bond, and they exist in S8, Se8 and Te8 forms. We will study the detailed structure of S8 molecule in our forthcoming videos. Catenation. Catenation is that property of any element when it joins with the atom of its own kind. So catenation depends on the single bond strength. Here again, sulfur bond strength, sulfur single bond strength is about 213 kilojoule per mole as compared to oxygen, which is only 138. So we can see it very clearly that this bond is stronger while this bond is weaker. Due to presence of this strong bond, sulfur has a tendency of catenation, but oxygen does not have the tendency of catenation. And I emphasize on this point that this behavior, this tendency of catenation decreases as we move down the group. As we move down the group, the tendency of catenation decreases. Because the size of atom increases, and when the size of atom increases, the strength of element-element bond decreases. That's why sulfur has highest catenation, and then selenium has less than that, tellurium much lesser catenation. So this is all about the catenation of group 16 elements. Allotropy of group 16 elements. All elements of group 16 have allotropes. all elements of group 16 have allotrop. This is because the elements have the tendency to show different physical forms, but chemically they are same. Like oxygen exists in two allotropic forms, dioxygen and ozone. Sulfur exists in three allotropic forms, mainly rhombic, monoclinic, plastic, as well as amorphous form. Selenium, it forms red form, which is non-metallic in nature, and gray form, which is metallic in nature, and there is one more amorphous form, which is also known as black form. So actually selenium is metalloid. Sometimes it behaves as metal and sometimes as non-metal. So these are the allotropes of selenium, where it sometimes show metallic behavior in the gray form, while in red form it shows non-metallic behavior. Tellurium also exists in allotrop. One is the crystalline form and other is the amorphous form, while polonium exists in the form of alpha and beta forms. Okay, so these are the allotropes of group 16 elements. So this is all about the physical properties and atomic properties and the general introduction of group 16 element. Thank you, children.